This is one of the greatest painters in history. He was also a killer with a price on his head who painted his own severed head to beg for mercy. 400 years later, historians still can't agree on how he died. This is Caravaggio. So how does the most wanted artist in Rome end up dead on a beach alone at 38? By his early 30s, Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio was the most talked about painter in Rome. He painted saints with dirty feet and street kids as angels, lit like a crime scene, and cardinals lined up for his work. But the same man had a rap sheet. Court records list a libel trial, an assault on a waiter over a plate of artichokes, thrown stones, illegal swords, and night after night in the papal jail. Genius by day, brawler by night. Then, in the spring of 1606, it went too far. In a fight in the Campo Marzio district, Caravaggio killed a man named Ranuccio Tomassoni. The official story was a bet gone wrong over a game of tennis. But some historians argue it was something darker, a planned duel over a courtesan named Philide, and that the wound was aimed low, a deliberate humiliation that turned fatal. We may never know which is true. What happened next changed everything. The papal court didn't just banish him, they issued a bando capitale, a capital sentence. It meant that anyone, anywhere in the Papal States, could legally hunt Caravaggio down and kill him for a reward, and prove it by cutting off his head. The most celebrated painter in Rome was now a marked man, running for his life. And here is the strange part. On the run, he painted some of the greatest work of his career. He fled to Naples, then sailed to Malta, where the Knights of St. John actually made him one of their own, a knight. There he painted the beheading of St. John the Baptist, an enormous, terrifying canvas, and did something he never did anywhere else. He signed it, in the blood pouring from the Baptist's neck. It is the only painting he ever signed. But Caravaggio could not stop being Caravaggio. On Malta, he got into yet another brawl, was locked in a cell in a fortress, and somehow escaped and vanished to Sicily. The knights expelled him in disgrace, and everywhere he went, the beheadings kept coming. Salome, Judith, the Baptist, again and again, severed heads staring out of the dark. Then, back in Naples, they caught up with him. He was ambushed outside a tavern and slashed across the face so badly that word spread he was dead. He survived, but disfigured. And now he did something haunting. He painted David with the head of Goliath and gave the severed, defeated head his own face, then sent it to the cardinal in Rome who could grant his pardon. A self-portrait as a dead man, begging to come home. The next summer, the gamble seemed to be working. A pardon was finally in motion. Caravaggio boarded a small boat from Naples with 3 paintings, gifts to buy his freedom, and set out for Rome. He never arrived. He ended up at Porto Ercole, a fever-ridden stretch of the Tuscan coast, and there, in the middle of July, he died. Not yet 39. And this is where the real mystery begins, because no one can agree on what killed him. For centuries, the story was fever, malaria caught on the journey. Then a team dug up bones they claimed were his and blamed lead poisoning from his own paints, though most experts say they cannot even prove the bones are his. Later, scientists in a medical journal pointed instead to sepsis, a blood infection from that facial wound. And a darker theory says he was murdered, hunted down at last by the Knights of Malta, his body quietly dumped. 4 theories, no agreement, 4 centuries on. There is one more cruel twist. According to many accounts, the pardon he had chased across 1,000 miles and 4 years arrived in Rome just days after he died. He never knew he had been forgiven. So that is the paradox of Caravaggio. a man who painted divine light like no one before him and lived in the dark, who filled his canvases with severed heads and may have lost his own to a bounty. The paintings he made on the run now hang in cathedrals and pull in hundreds of thousands of visitors, while the man himself vanished into an unmarked grave and an argument that still is not settled. So here is my question for you. After 400 years, do you think Caravaggio died of illness, or was he hunted down and killed? Tell me in the comments. If you want another genius with a violent, mysterious end, watch our video on the gardener heist next. And if you like art history with the real darkness left in, subscribe. We do this a few times a week. Until next time.